In the previous class, we have seen restriction endonuclease activity. After that, separation of the fragments of DNA by electrophoresis, which is the additional technique. After that, we have taken a piece of DNA by a process called elution from the electrophoretic plate, which is already absorbed the color in ultraviolet exposure. It is able to seen in dark orange bands, orange colored substance. Now we have started the second requirement for rDNA technology or genetic engineering, that is vector. We have seen in the previous class what is a vector. Vector is nothing but a carrier. Generally, vectors are nothing but plasmids or phases, because plasmids and phases, these are capable to multiply in their number independently in the body of host organisms. So this ability make them vectors, carriers. So we have seen an ideal vector, features of an ideal vector. Before this, we have studied yesterday the structure of PBr 322. In PBr 322, which is plasmid after Bolivar and Rodriguez, it has several possible sites along with RE site, compulsory, replication of proteins, regulation control, compulsory, with some genes, tetracycline resistant gene, ampicillin resistant gene. In these two sites are there, here three sites are there, here two sites are there, here one. So the maximum possible sites they have arranged and they have constructed a modified plasmid. They have prepared. So PBr 322 we have seen, and now we are discussing. Yesterday we started what are the features of a vector or a plasmid, which has to be used in the recombinant DNA or for cloning process. It should have first RE site. RE site means origin of replication. So a plasmid which is used as vector, should have origin of replication. Without these sequences, no replication. So compulsorily a plasmid or a vector should possess RE site, ORI, origin of replication. In the second point, RE site is also determine the copy number per cell. So how many number of copies they will multiply in a particular bacterial cell. For example, in one bacterial cell I have given yesterday 1 to 10, 1 to 2 or 1 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 100 or even more. So this is called per one bacterial cell, that is one host. How many multiplied copies, how many replicated plasmids will be formed? This is the question what we want. So based upon the number of copies per cell. So RE site controls number of copies per cell. Now, which type of vector we are going to select? We are going to select a good vector which is having capability to get more copy numbers. If RE site capable of production of more copy number per cell. If a RE site capable of production of more copy number per cell, it has to be selected. So if we select a plasmid or ideal plasmid, ideal vector should have more copy numbers per cell. These are the three statements regarding the origin of replication. An ideal vector should have RE site, and RE site should control the copy numbers, and an ideal vector is that which has more copy number per cell. Second feature of ideal vector, selectable marker. Selectable marker is another feature of a vector where selectable marker, it is to identify transformant cells and non-transformant cells. First, it is to identify transformant cells and non-transformant cells. To identify recombinant cells and non-recombinant cells. We will see all these. Selectable marker. A vector, an ideal vector should have selectable markers. What are these? One or two selectable marker. Generally, two selectable markers should be present in an ideal vector or plasmid which is used as vector. So again, origin of replication, without these sequences, no replication. So compulsorily, RE site is essential. A plasmid or a vector should have. And what is the specificity of RE? It is specific. It is able to control the number of copies per cell in a cell. For example, we are having a mobile which is having 2 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB. The more the GB, the more the capacity. Now, selectable marker is the second feature of a vector. Selectable marker is the second feature of a vector. It is to identify transformant cells and non-transformant cells. What are these transformant and non-transformant? We have to see. It is to identify the recombinant cells and non-recombinant cells. What are recombinant cells? What are non-recombinant cells? We have to see. Generally, two selectable markers should be present in an ideal vector. See here. Normal Escherichia coli cells do not possess any selectable marker To understand these four statements, we have to study into the plasmid, which is used as vector some specific genes like drug resistant genes. Drug resistant genes means here antibiotics are the drugs. Antibiotic resistant genes are incorporated at the time of construction of vector. Antibiotic resistant, antibiotics are the drug. So antibiotic resistant genes are incorporated into the plasmid, which is called a modification or construction. These antibiotic resistant genes are resistant genes are maybe tetracycline. Resistant means R, small letter R. Chloramphenicol, resistant. Kanamycin, resistant. Ampicillin, resistant. Neomycin, bacitracin, so many antibiotics are there. Such antibiotic resistant against to those drugs. So a gene which is having resistance against to the antibiotics, they were constructed, they were added in the plasmid, in the vector. So generally an ideal vector should have two selectable markers. What is meant by a selectable marker? Let us see. Selectable marker. This is the piece of DNA. Alien DNA or desirable gene. So many names. Target DNA, passenger DNA, alien DNA, piece of DNA, gene of interest, foreign DNA. So many names are given to this. And this is a plasmid. When we are constructing the plasmid, compulsorily RE site should be there, and one gene for drug resistant tetracycline resistant gene, another gene here ampicillin resistant gene. And here, my dear students, in the gene tetracycline resistant gene, ampicillin resistant gene, there are sites for BAM H1. It is a restriction endonuclease. BAM H1 is having GG80CC, GG80CC sequence. So this sequence is here. Another is here, Sol sequence. For example, here another sequence, Proteus vulgaris, Providentia stuarti, various sites are there. Proteus vulgaris 1, Providentia stuarti 1, Sol 1, BAM H1. So this is the plasmid. It should have RE compulsory. It should have rope, copy number per protein, and these two genes are incorporated. Like that, this plasmid is constructed. A plasmid is constructed, and this plasmid is used as vector. Now, when we are going to keep this into a host, see here, when we are going to take the bacterial cells. Bacterial cells. When bacterial cells are growing in a culture medium, when bacterial cells are growing in a culture medium, we are going to send this type of plasmids. And plasmid has to enter into the bacterial cell. With this, the bacteria which is not having plasmid earlier, it will become having plasmid. So, for example, in a test tube or in a culture medium, there are so many bacterial cells. Into these bacterial cells, we dropped these plasmids, which are having genes for ampicillin resistant, tetracycline resistant. And it is having RE site, rope. And when we dropped, there is a chance some bacteria may take the plasmids and changed. Some bacteria may not take the plasmid. Now the question comes, the bacterial cell which are able to take the plasmid, which are having tetracycline resistant gene and ampicillin resistant gene, tetracycline, ampicillin. These bacteria are called transformed cells, transformants. These are transformed. So, when some 100 bacteria are produced in the medium, for example, some 100 bacteria, we have to test which bacteria is having our plasmid with the genes and which bacteria is not having plasmid and genes. The plasmid with the genes which are present in a bacteria, such a bacteria is called transformed bacterial cells. And the bacteria which does not possess plasmid and genes are called non-transformed. So, how to identify which are transformed and which are non-transformed? Now, we have to keep these bacterial cells, the bacterial cells, into mediums. Which medium? Antibiotic. Antibiotic called ampicillin is present here. Antibiotic called tetracycline present here. And we have dropped all the bacteria, all these 100. Which bacteria will grow? Which bacteria is able to resist? Those bacteria which are having antibiotic resistant genes, they were capable to live in the antibiotic media. But normal bacteria which are not having antibiotic resistant genes, they cannot live, they cannot grow, they cannot form into colonies. They will be killed because antibiotic drug is there. So, selection of bacterial cells by the help of these markers, antibiotic resistant genes. So, they are called selectable marker. What is a selectable marker? Selectable marker is a term to define which bacteria is called transformed bacterial cell. Transformed bacterial cell means which possess plasmid with antibiotic resistant genes, and which bacteria is called non-transformant, means this is not having. So when you are keeping all the bacteria into antibiotic ampicillin medium, those bacteria which are having antibiotic resistant ampicillin, they will live, and those who are not having, they will. So this is called transformed bacterial cells, non-transformed. So selectable markers are responsible to identify transformant cells and non-transformant cells. Non-transformed, non-transformant, transformant. Now, first sentence over. Selectable marker to identify the bacterial cells in a colony. When bacteria are growing in number, if we drop them in antibiotics, if they possess antibiotic resistant gene, they will withstand to the medium, they will grow, they will survive. If they were not having antibiotic, it means they are not transformed, they have not received the plasmid, then they will not survive in the medium. To identify the recombinant cells and non-recombinant cells, here, see here, transformed all those bacteria which are having resistant genes for ampicillin and tetracycline. Now, see here, we will take the plasmid here, vector having antibiotic resistant regions, tetracycline, ampicillin, for example, ampicillin, AMPR, ampicillin resistant, this gene, it has some sequences which is having against to the antibiotic ampicillin. This is tetracycline resistant gene. This is tetracycline resistant gene. Now, in the tetracycline resistant gene and here ampicillin resistant gene, there are some sites. The sites is here BAM site H1, BAM H1 site, BAM H1. I have given BAM H1 is having GG80CC sequence here. This is the recognition sequence or cloning site or restriction site, or this is the place when we use this BAM H1 enzyme, it will identify and it will cut between GG to make it. It will open. So the site is called BAM H1 site. Where BAM H1 site is present? In the tetracycline resistant gene. Tetracycline resistant gene, BAM H1 site. And BAM H1 is a restriction endonuclease enzyme which will act on a specific sequences. Those specific sequences I have given here, GG80CC. Now, we have used the same enzyme while getting the alien DNA here. We used the same BAM H1, we have received this. Now, we are bringing this alien piece of DNA, going to keep in the BAM H1 site. Why same enzyme? Because of the same enzyme, same sticky ends will be there. It is already having two sticky ends. It will be opened with sticky ends. Now we are going to join the piece of alien DNA or passenger DNA or target DNA or gene of interest or desirable gene or a foreign gene in the place of this open. By the cutting it will open. In that place we join this. When we join this, insertion, due to the insertion of gene of interest, so many names just now have announced. By the insertion of the gene, already the gene present here is tetracycline resistant gene. Already in that area tetracycline resistant gene is present, normal gene. When we going to add this, by the insertion already present tetracycline resistant gene becomes inactivated, becomes non-functional. It stops working, it stops expressing. So tetracycline gene is inactivated. The process of inactivation of tetracycline gene by the insertion of foreign gene is called insertional inactivation. Insertional inactivation. Now, by the addition of this is called recombinant DNA. Recombinant DNA. Now, we have given into the bacterial cells colony. So many bacterial cells are here. So many bacterial cells are here. We have dropped this in the culture medium. Same thing. Some bacterial cells having transform. So we don't want the non-transformants. So we have eliminated them. What we have selected? We have selected only transformed bacterial cells. It means compulsorily in every bacterial cell, antibiotic resistance both are present. Ampicillin and tetracycline. In transformed cells, transformant. And we have taken the transformant cells and we made recombinant DNA technology and we have sent into the bacteria. The bacterial cells which consists of recombinants, recombinant DNA, piece of DNA are called recombinants, and the bacterial cells which do not possess the recombinant gene are called non-recombinants. See here, to identify recombinant cells and non-recombinant cells, selectable markers are used. Selectable markers are used to identify recombinants and non-recombinants. My dear students, what is a recombinant? A recombinant cell is that which consists of a plasmid with a ampicillin resistant gene, and here tetracycline resistant gene stopped its activity. Now, how to identify which is a recombinant and which is a non-recombinant? How to identify which is a recombinant? So let us take so many bacterial cells are here. They are having already that transformed protein, this plasmids. For example, some 10 or 20 are here. We are going to, some 20 are here, going to drop. We have to take again media, ampicillin, tetracycline. So tetracycline is kept here, ampicillin is kept here, and we are dropping the bacteria. What happens? What happens? A bacteria that consists of a bacteria which has plasmid ampicillin resistant but tetracycline absent gene is there. So it is called recombinant. A bacteria which is having a plasmid or vector both ampicillin resistant and tetracycline resistant genes. Now, so many are there bacteria here like this. Non-transformants are completely absent. When we are dropping the bacteria, this bacteria, it is called non-recombinant. When you drop a non-recombinant in ampicillin, it is able to live because it is having ampicillin resistance gene. Next, non-recombinants are able to live in ampicillin, survive ampicillin, and again it will keep in tetracycline. It is having tetracycline resistant also. Gene is present. It is a non-recombinant. So it will survive here also. So concept is non-recombinants can survive in both ampicillin and tetracycline media. One statement. Non-recombinant. What is a non-recombinant? Which is not having our insert, our piece of DNA. That alien DNA or gene of interest is not having. It means out of 100 cells or 1000 cells, when we have inserted this plasmid with recombinant, it was taken by only few bacterial cells. Some other bacterial cells are not having recombinant genes. They are called transformants, but non-recombinants. Transformants, but non-recombinants. So non-recombinants can grow in both media. Now second, this type of bacterial cell, when we drop this here, a recombinant bacteria, when it is dropped in ampicillin, it will survive because it is having ampicillin resistant gene. So when a recombinant bacteria dropped in ampicillin medium, it is able to survive because it possesses ampicillin. After growing so many colonies, if you want to drop this from here to here, if you drop this here, it cannot grow because tetracycline gene is insertional inactivation. The gene of tetracycline resistant, by the insertion of the alien DNA, it stops its activity, it becomes inactivated. So recombinants cannot grow in tetracycline, whereas they can grow in ampicillin. So next statement. Recombinants grow in ampicillin only. They cannot survive in tetracycline medium because tetracycline gene is inactivated due to insertional inactivation. Tetracycline resistant gene is undergone insertional inactivation. So selectable markers too are required. Why two selectable markers are required? Because one selectable marker we are able to identify transformant or non-transformant. Ampicillin, transformant. Tetracycline, non-recombinant. So recombinants cannot grow in the tetracycline medium, whereas recombinants grow only in the, even though recombinants are not grown in the tetracycline, but they can be selected from non-recombinants while keeping in ampicillin. So a recombinant can grow in ampicillin because it consists of gene of interest and ampicillin resistant. It cannot grow in tetracycline because the tetracycline gene is inactivated. This is called insertional inactivation. For the purpose of identification, of transformants, non-transformants, recombinants, non-recombinants, selectable markers are used. And generally, what is a selectable marker? Generally, drug-resistant genes are used as selectable markers. These drug-resistant genes are nothing but ampicillin, tetracycline, chloramphenicol, kanamycin, neomycin, bacitracin, streptomycin. So many drugs are there in the syllabus concerned. NCERT, they have given ampicillin resistant and tetracycline resistant. Now, Now, actually this is the further step up, but to understand selectable marker it is compulsory to explain everything. So what are the features of an aerial vector? First feature, it should have origin of replication site. Again we are going from the beginning. RE site compulsory. Second, it should have selectable marker. A marker to select, an identification mark to select. Third one, cloning site. See another name, cloning site. What is cloning site? Cloning site means this area where a particular gene of interest is cloned, added and cloned. So cloning site means a plasmid which is round in shape with double stranded structure. In this, along with the RE site or other essential, it is ideal vector then only when it is having a single cloning site, preferably one. In the textbook 199 page, second paragraph, a cloning site they have given. Generally, an ideal vector should have very few, preferably one. Remember that. Generally, it has sites very few, preferably one. What does it mean? See here. If it is having a site, what site? Palindromic sequence here. For example, I have shown GG, AT, CC. GG, AT, CC. Where it is present here? I wish to show this. GG, AT, CC. GG, AT, CC. So this part, whenever we apply that particular enzyme, it will come and cut here, here, so it will break this round structure will open. This round structure, if only one cloning site is there, so the name of restriction site, the name of palindromic sequence, the name of restriction endome recognition sequence, all now changed into cloning site. So cloning site is nothing but the area in the plasmid. Cloning site is nothing but the area in the plasmid at a particular site. Only one enzyme has to be acted to make it into open. If two or more sites are there, cloning site, for example, here one cloning site, here another cloning site, here another cloning site are there. When we apply the enzyme, it will make this into fragments. It will make the plasmid into fragments, and it will be difficult for cloning process. For cloning a particular gene, it will be difficult, complicating, complex, or it may be impossible to get various fragments separately. So an ideal vector should have preferably a single cloning site, preferably a single cloning site with which by the action of the enzyme it will cut and open. When it cut and open, it will be like this. We are going to add a gene of interest with sticky ends easily, and this is called the gene of interest is added. A cloning site, a single cloning site which makes easy joining of ligase enzyme with the help of ligase or ligation process. ligation process with the help of DNA ligase with sticky ends. Already collected piece of DNA or gene of interest is added with the vector which is having a single cloning site. By this, now when we are going to add here, especially what we selected the tetracycline gene. And what site we have selected? We have selected the BAMH1 site. And so the sequence should be GGATCC. And when we apply BAMH1 enzyme, it will go and cut the plasmid DNA. So the round DNA will open with sticky ends, staggered cut, cohesive. Now already same enzyme is used in the DNA. So the DNA is easily ligated, ligation process. At the time of this, already present tetracycline gene becomes insertional inactivation. So it will be there, our gene of interest will be there, tetracycline gene undergoes. And what gene is here? Here it is having ampicillin resistant gene. So a recombinant DNA or recombinant vector which is carrying a gene, how to identify? By keeping them in ampicillin resistant. It cannot grow in the tetracycline because tetracycline is lost. It can grow in ampicillin. It can be selected growing in ampicillin. So to identify recombinants and non-recombinants, and to identify transformants and non-transformants. One is used to identify the transformants, and another gene is another selectable marker is for recombinants. Since a recombinant one cannot develop in tetracycline, it can grow only in ampicillin. So first we have to grow them in, and a recombinant cannot grow in a medium of both ampicillin and tetracycline. For example, if you take a medium having ampicillin plus tetracycline, if you drop it cannot grow. Why? Tetracycline resistant gene is absent. So a recombinant will grow only in ampicillin. My dear students, questions of various corners, statement type of questions. All options look similar. Only thing is, if you are subjected to any test, if you are having any probability of chances of preparing questions and giving you, we'll see in the coming classes how far you are able to understand. In the textbook, in these 3 paragraphs, somehow. So here, RE site, selectable marker, cloning site should be 1, and various terms and conditions, transformants, non-transformants, recombinants, non-recombinants, insertional inactivation, and finally, page number 200, they have given the process of insertional inactivation and selectable markers is cumbersome process. Identification of recombinants, identification of recombinants by this method is cumbersome, means difficult one. Technically, why? We have to take 2 antibiotic medium and tetracycline means simultaneously we have to plate them. So 2 different plates, 2 plates of antibiotic resistance, simultaneously plating, shifting from here to there, and selection. All this is somehow uncomfortable, difficult process. That's why they have developed another method of selection that is called alternate selectable markers. Alternate selectable markers. With the help of alternate selectable marker. So alternate process of selection of recombinants from the group of bacteria. What is that alternate? See here, they have identified while preparing the RE site rope. In bacteria, beta galactosidase gene is there. So the area of the DNA which is responsible to produce mRNA, that is by transcription, that mRNA is expressed in the form of enzyme called beta galactosidase enzyme. In operon concept we have studied. So this is the area where we are going to keep our gene of interest. Let us see how. When a bacterial cell which is having this type of plasmid with beta galactosidase and kept in a chromogenic substrate. Chromogenic means coloring. When the substrate or medium is having coloring capability, and when they are growing with this, they are able to produce blue colored structure, means blue colored colonies. When bacteria are growing, dividing hundreds, thousands, millions, in that substrate they appear like blue colored colonies. Blue colored colonies. Now we have taken this plasmid and genetic engineering altered what? We want a piece of DNA has to be incorporated. A piece of DNA. This in the place of beta galactosidase. So when a piece of DNA is incorporated in the place of beta galactosidase, and such bacteria are allowed to grow in the medium, chromogenic, chromo coloring effect, chromogenic. When they were growing, if really recombinants are there, already beta galactosidase gene undergoes insertional inactivation by the gene. So it will not produce. So in the textbook they will give, if the bacterial cells are not having insert, they will produce blue colored colonies. If the bacterial cells are having insert, due to the insertion of gene, beta galactosidase will last inactive and it cannot produce blue colored colony. So the colorless colonies, recombinants are identified by production of recombinants cannot produce blue color. So in one step, we can directly identify which are recombinants, which are non-recombinants. If they are non-recombinants, they will produce blue colored colony. If they are recombinants, they will not produce blue colored colony. So here, alternative process of selection of recombinants by alternate selectable markers is easiest. Nowadays it is carried out. Whereas it is 2 steps, 3-4 steps. We have to shift from one plate to other plate. We have to add antibiotic resistant gene, antibiotic ampicillin resistant medium. But here only substrate having color. If it produces blue colored colonies, they are non-recombinants. If they produce colorless colonies, they are recombinants. So question, 10 questions. How to identify transformants from non-transformants? Option 1, by keeping in something. They will give options. Question is how to identify transformants and non-transformants. First one should know what is a transformant, what is non-transformant. Which type of bacteria are completely eliminated from recombinant technology? Non-transformant, normal bacteria. And what is the difference between a normal bacteria and a genetically engineered bacteria? Normal Escherichia coli bacterial cells, they does not possess natural antibiotic resistant genes. Antibiotic resistant genes are naturally not present in E. coli. Only E. coli cells which are genetically engineered, genetically modified. That's why they are called transformed. Second question. Third question. Which of the method from the following is correct for identifying non-recombinants? 4 options. Which of the following method to identify recombinants? Again statement. Transformants can grow in. Transformants can grow in both media. Transformants. Transformants means a bacteria having both tetracycline resistant, ampicillin resistant. When you drop this, either in the ampicillin medium or tetracycline medium, they will grow. So statement type of question. Transformant bacterial cells means having plasmid with resistant genes. Non-transformants, they cannot grow. Non-transformants, because they are not having resistant genes, so they cannot survive in the antibiotic medium. Antibiotic will eat them, kill them. They cannot grow. Recombinants can grow in ampicillin medium. Recombinants cannot grow in tetracycline. Non-recombinants. So non-transformants are nothing but non-recombinants. Non-recombinants can grow in both the media. With this, we have completed some of the, that is restriction endonuclease enzymes and vectors. We have to study host and the process of transferring the vectors into the host organisms.